Hey guys, I'm here with Caty Borum Chattoo, executive producer of Stand Up Planet. Caty, unfortunately some of our viewers may not know exactly what the documentary entails, so if you have a few moments, could you elaborate or maybe give some details into what it's all about?
Yeah, so Stand Up Planet is a kind of unusual journey into the developing world to look at issues of global poverty, specifically sanitation issues in many parts of the developing world, and HIV, which continues to be a huge problem around the world. And basically we take a journey into these worlds through the eyes of stand-up comics, because stand-up comics all over the world, as in the United States, are giving observations about the places where they're from, sort of pointing out what's absurd about society. And so it's kind of an attempt to maybe get people who aren't paying attention to issues around global development and global poverty. Maybe they wouldn't seek out stories that are sort of earnest storytelling around those issues, but they might stumble across something with young stand-up comics and want to check out what that's all about. So Stand Up Planet is a two-part documentary. It's a television special and a comedy show and a lot of web extras and a campaign to really build awareness about global poverty.
That's awesome. So, of course, with a documentary of this nature, there are several places that you have to go internationally. What were some challenges you faced visiting these places overseas?
Yeah, so producing a documentary around the world can be really challenging because there are a lot of scenes that you have to set up from home base in the United States, and you can imagine that setting up scenes of places to film in places like India and South Africa, if you don't know anyone there, can be really challenging. And so we worked with a lot of really great NGOs, nonprofit organizations, and individuals who are already working in the areas where we wanted to film. And they really helped guide us into those places and sort of help us to understand where maybe there were cultural barriers or even language barriers, and a lot of times. And so it was a really great, very challenging experience, but definitely worth it.
Going off that, 5 years from now, looking back, what do you say, what would you like to say that this documentary was able to accomplish?
Yeah, so with any kind of documentary that's designed for social change, you always hope that the one project leads to some kind of observable social change. So maybe we raised awareness with a group of people, and we can see that from public opinion data, or we increased donations to a social service agency of a certain amount of money. And so you always hope for that with any kind of, I think, social issue storytelling. But not only would I hope for that for this project, I would hope that this kind of idea of telling stories about deeply entrenched social problems in maybe new creative ways, I kind of hope that's an idea that takes off, because these issues are so deeply entrenched, and we're facing such challenges in the world that we need all the different kinds of storytelling to tackle them. So I sort of hope the idea of that maybe catches on in other ways.
Awesome, awesome. So going off that, obviously this is a different take on an idea that's been tossed around before, promoting social growth in the developing countries and things of that nature. What tips or advice would you give aspiring filmmakers or people that were interested in entering a similar field?
Yeah, well, passion is a good piece of advice. You have to feel really strongly about the issues that you're dealing with, and you have to feel really strongly convicted. I think that your one story may make a contribution no matter how big the issue is. And so I think passion and conviction, I think, are the qualities that get you farther than tangible things like I have to have money and this and that. Yes, you need those things too, but for sure you need access to funding. But being really strongly committed to an issue, I think, is probably the best piece of advice.
So just sticking with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is Caty Borum Chattoo. Thank you guys so much. If you get a chance, definitely check out the film. It's absolutely phenomenal. Very great work. But for now, we're signing off. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.